Welcome to Great Minds, Great Quotes. I have a few more wonderful quotes on the topic of action. Unconditional love is not unconditional approval of another's action, but unconditional acceptance of the person behind the action. This question arises in our minds quite often, that someone for whom we have unconditional love, but then that love disappears when that person does something we don't like. So our love is dependent on what he does, what he says, what he gives, what he promises. Unconditional love for a person is not related to what he does. You can object to his action, but don't make your unconditional love conditional upon the action. This is the message here. Unconditional love is not unconditional approval of another's action, but unconditional acceptance of the person behind the action. This is from a Japanese proverb. Vision without action is daydream. Vision without action is daydream. Action without vision is nightmare. That's a cute one. In other words, you have vision, you think about it, you have good plans, good ideas, you do nothing about it. Okay, so you're daydreaming. But if you're acting without a vision, you're doing random things, sometimes harming yourself, harming others, you're doing something because for the sake of doing. You don't have any vision. That is like nightmare. Vision without action is daydream. Action without vision is nightmare. This is another good one from Swami Vivekananda, the great scholar and teacher who came to America about 125 years ago and made a big impact. So this is his quotation. We are responsible for what we are and whatever we wish ourselves to be. We have the power to make ourselves. If what we are now has been the result of our own past actions, it certainly follows that whatever we wish to be in future can be produced by our present actions. So, we have to know how to act. Good moral ethical lesson, because we become what we do. What I am today, what you are today, is directly related to actions we have done in the past. And the actions we are doing today will shape our personality, our nature in future. So, we have to know how to act. This is from Madeleine d'Anglais. We can't take any credit for our talents. It is how we use them that counts. In other words, we can have talent and not use it. So we are a talented person, but have not applied our talent in an action. So that's the emphasis here. We can't take credit for our talents. It's how we use them that counts. This is from Hugh Mulligan. What I do today is important. What I do today is important because I'm exchanging a day to my life for it. Very serious. What I do today is important because in exchange for what we do, we have given a day in our life. So take it seriously, do good action with good conscience, good intention. This is from Francis de Assisi. What is that stands higher than words? What is that stands higher than words? Action. What is it that stands higher than action? Silence. So what is being said here is, higher than words are your action, and higher than your action is silence, not talking about it. I remember in one of my classes on yoga and meditation many years ago, I suggested to my students, and they were all adults, that in the next 30 days, please do something very good to someone you don't know. Do something good for a stranger and never tell anybody about it, including me. So first they smiled, then after a couple of meetings we touched upon the subject. I said, don't tell me what you did to whom. Just imagine how good you feel and how more self-aware you are now. So a few more I have for you today. This one is from Robert Schuller. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? That's interesting. A lot of things we attempt to do, not being sure that we will succeed. We may fail, results may be different than expected. But if you knew that whatever you do, you will succeed, you would not fail, guaranteed, then what would you do? Think about it. If you are sure that you will not fail, you will succeed, then what would you choose to do? This one is from Mahatma Gandhi. Whatever you do may be insignificant. Whatever you do may be insignificant, but it is important that you do it. So whatever is your duty and responsibility, you must do it without worrying about whether it is important, it's significant or not. It is important that you do it, although it may not be significant. If it is part of your duty and responsibility, you must attend to it, not wait for next time when you have something important to do. This one is from Abu Saeed. Whatever you have in your mind, forget it. Whatever you have in your mind, forget it. Whatever you have in your hand, give it. Whatever is it, whatever to be your fate, face it. This is a message of courage. Whatever you have in your mind, forget it. In other words, don't be too much influenced by your thoughts and disturbances, your stress, etc. And whatever you have in your hand, give it. There are a lot of quotations I will share with you later. The joy of giving. Sometimes we feel that we lose something by giving, or we might need it ourselves in future, so why give it now? But once you give it and have your family members, children get used to giving, even small part of what they have, they will feel good, they'll be a happier person in the long run. So the quotation again is, whatever you have in your mind, forget it. Whatever you have in your hand, give it. What is to be your fate, face it. More. This one is In one of my talks, these words came out of my mind. So please forgive me. I'm sharing my words with you this time. All actions are perfectly in accordance with the level of consciousness they originate from. Our efforts to change action without elevating consciousness are bound to fail. In other words, a person, whatever he does, according to how his personality, how his consciousness, what level of awareness he is operating. An intelligent, compassionate person will do different quality of things. A brilliant, highly visionary person will do something bigger for longer term impact. A person with careless attitude uh, and not concerned about implications of his action may do silly things. So actions originate from consciousness, and higher and deeper the level of your consciousness will determine how big and important and consequential action you are doing. So all actions are perfectly in accordance with the level of consciousness they originate from. Our efforts to change action without elevating consciousness are bound to fail. This another one from me. Last one today. The most vexing question is to choose what to do if you are capable of doing everything, and when to do if you are immortal. It's a vexing question to choose what to do if you were capable of doing everything. If everything you could do, if you are omnipotent, everything you could do, then what would you choose to do? And if, just suppose, if you are immortal, when is the right time you would do what you have in mind to do? So one is a question of time, one is a question of space. If you had the capacity to do everything, what would you do? If you are immortal, when would you do? That's enough for today. See you again in another episode of Great Minds, Great Quotes.